Hi guys, this is Cobra Tom,
And Venom Lily.
and we are going to do a video today. And that video is G.I. Joe. Yo Joe. Here is the general. I will be showing it off in sections, but I do want to show it off. And here is a normal 3 3/4 inch figure, Dusty here, to give you a sense of scale. This thing is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Here's the Locust helicopter on top. Here is a secondary Locust helicopter that you can put on there. And it still holds both of them. And not G.I. Joe. Not G.I. Joe at all. But the Chap May Night Stalker. You can fit 3 vehicles on the deck. It is amazing. This toy is humongous and it is great. It's ridiculous, and that's why we love it. Here I have the whole thing just loaded up with figures. And I will even do kind of a, I'll even do a front and back. But what you have here is a whole bunch of figures on this massive, awesome toy. I should count. I can't remember how many I put, but if you include the helicopters and all the stuff, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I put one there just for the fun of it. Oh, 22, 23, 24, 25. Plus there's a bunch on the inside. So I think there's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I think there's 35 figures in all. And, well, anyway, I'll show you. And I will get a very close thing. You have, and I'll try to see if I can zoom in on this. There we go. I'm going to zoom in on this and show you that the foot pegs on the things to get into the vehicle. So you can either have them look like they're going into the vehicle, or you could just have them on the outside, ready to fight. And I'll give him Major Storm's gun here, just for that. But you can see each one of these guys is at a foot peg right here. And I'll just take these guys off just so you can see. And I know that this will be difficult to see. And I will try to get another light here to show you. I will bring this down. Sorry for the shaky camera, but there's 2 figures on that side. There are, once again, sorry for the shaky view, but there's figures for the footwells on, or foot pegs on this side. And you can put, hopefully move this without knocking them off. Well, I did it anyway. And then you can see, hopefully you can see, foot pegs and the figures on there. Then, even though this is not an actual, like, traditional spot, I put a figure there, a figure there, a figure here and a figure there. Sorry for the shaky view. Now, those are not actual traditional things. Those are just positions that I decided I wanted a figure on. And I thought they would just look cool there. And, well, maybe you don't agree, but I think they look good there. I think that the figures here, let me try to get that in. Let me back that out a little bit again. Whoop, a little too much. But the figures are here. Now, just to make things a little easier, sorry guys, I'm going to take you off. And I'm even going to take these guys out. And then I am going to do a camera view in just a moment. Underneath here, underneath the landing deck, is the missile rack. You got one little deeper in there, and then two that stick a little further out. Now I'm going to lift this up, and I'm going to actually take this whole antenna array, which will get its own, I'll explain that in a minute. But I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to show you. There we go. And I'm going to get my light again, and I am going to show you the very cool, which is on all four corners. They're all the exact same, but all four of these have this really cool engine block. And then when you have this up, and I will pull back, when you have this up, you can see the missile racks are here. Very nice. However, if this it doesn't seem to be like enough firepower, and there just isn't enough missiles, and there isn't just enough guns, and there just isn't enough firepower, well, you can do this. And I have to finagle mine a little bit because mine's a little bit tight. But now you have another missile rack, which then, mine's a little tight, so I have to kind of carefully do mine. But mine, you could slide 360 degrees. Mine's a little bit tight, and mine kind of is. Mine's a little tight to the ground here and a little bit loose on the inside. But now, as you can see, you've got this. Hopefully you can see. Hopefully you can see. I will try to go in and zoom in on that a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully, you got a pretty good thing of that. And that is... Well, that is Falcon from 1987. I was just grabbing random good guys, so it's kind of not all 90s. But I tried to get a variety of 90s figures in there and other figures. But now, this one doesn't click as well as the other side, which I can show you, but it's going to be the same exact thing. The missile rack comes up. The figure sits in there nicely. You can move this all around, and he doesn't really even move. I mean, yeah, he's got like a tiny bit of wiggle in there, but he's otherwise really in there. And as you saw, I had him underneath, and when I flipped him up, because this goes in, now this one isn't as tight as my other one, and you kind of got to separate the arms a tiny bit. But when you put that down, you can flip this back. Kind of got to watch the guy's head a little bit, and the missiles kind of sometimes don't. But see, you can flip that all the way back around, and you don't even have to remove the figure. And I will just show this really quickly because we're on this side. You can put 2 figures here manning the guns. And I've got the 1987 Vestra in the 1990 Airwave. I think that's his name. If I'm wrong, oh well. And see, nice guns. I'll do a little better thing with the guns in just a little bit. But here are the guns. Here's the gunner station. Here's this. And once again, you can land a helicopter right on top. Beautiful. That is so cool. Now, I will show, but this is going to be one of those things that isn't, it is and isn't. This is really cool, but isn't kind of, because it is the exact mirrored on the other side. So you don't, one side is going to be the exact same as the other side. Okay, now I'm going to show you one of the really cool, and well, like I said, this is kind of one of those things that's a complete mold copy, but on the opposite side. So you've got the same guns, same missiles. Now you can see on the front and back, there's 6 missiles, and on the other side, there's 6 missiles. You also got the 2 guns on the back, just like in the front. So it's going to be the exact same. Oh, I knocked one of the missiles down. I will show one of the missiles in just a minute here. And since I got that knocked down anyway, I will show that. And I knocked down 2 of them. But here is one of the cool things about this vehicle. Look at that. I don't even have to, I'll just take this and I'll do that. See, this is supposed to click in there a little better, and mine doesn't, but not a huge deal. Now, I am going to once again try to get another light in here. So what you have here is, since I moved some stuff around, but as you can see, hopefully you can see, and I'll even go in there, there are foot pegs. And see, even like a walkway and a stairway. There are even stairwells and computer screens. So hopefully you can see that there's some computer detail, some monitors, some very nice foot pegs. And I'm going to put dude number 1 on there. Dusty in there. Then I always get them confused. I think that's Mutt. Because I think Junkyard is the dog. I'm confused. The dog might be Mutt and he might be Junkyard. I'm a little confused on who's who here. But as you can see with this, you've got some really cool computer monitors. You even have a walkway in between, so you can put an extra figure in there. Hopefully you can see that. Yep. On the back end, once again, you can see, if I do it right, you should be able to see the computer or the engine exactly the same as the front. Now, if you don't have this toy, you might be wondering, okay, well, if it stays, how do you get the door down if it stays up? Well, there's a little latch in there that's really nice that helps. I'm going to raise this up so that you can see it. Hopefully see me do this. Right here and right here is where it is held up. I know you can't see that. It's really hard. And even if you had the things, you wouldn't really be able to see it anyway. Because it's so well done and it just so well blends in there I couldn't show you anyway because it's just so well done. But here's the mechanic of it. It's held here and here. And then what you're supposed to do is there are 2 finger tabs. I hope you can see that. It will be very difficult. Maybe if I put a little light on them, you'll be able to see. You don't have to lift them by that, but there are these 2 finger tabs here. Hopefully you can see that. 2 finger tabs right here. And then what you do is you just put your finger here, give it a gentle lift. You don't even have to do much. Just a gentle lift and then down. You don't even have to like do anything. And you got that. See how nice that just, now it's all back to normal. You want to lift it up again? Oop. There we go. It stays. Oh, now I did it. Oh, oops, now I did too much. And down again. Very nice, very nice. And since we were just talking about it, I am going to really quickly turn off my light here again. And I am going to show you the missiles, the underside missiles. I believe these are a unique design. I couldn't find a similar one. So here they are. There's a dumbbell peg. And then you just put it right under here. I took this off so I can show you. This comes in 2 parts that you just clip into each other. And then I'll show you. It's going to be very difficult to see, but I'll show you where it goes. But they're the same. They're mirrored, but they're the same. But here's what would be on, if you were looking at it straight ahead. This would be the right, but this would be the driver's side. And then you'd have, these don't light up, but these are like spotlights. Here's radar. Here's another radar. Now here's 2 things that often get lost. You not only have this antenna, which gets lost on many other vehicles. Antenna on vehicles and things get lost all the time. And it goes into this little hole. And it clicks in nicely. Once it's in, it's not going to fall out. But these are still oftentimes, I find these all the time, missing. I had to pay a pretty penny just to get one. Or get 2. I think I paid like $40 for 2 of these. And then this piece comes off, which this you can find a lot easier. But it is still something that's missing, the radar. And the bottom's pretty plain, but it doesn't have to be like super fancy either. It's on the bottom. And it comes with a peg, which is very similar to the peg design for the gun, which you shall see in a minute. I don't have at the moment out. But as you can see, now the same is on this side. Got the antenna, the lights, the antenna. Oh, this one is not as straight as it could be. There we go. Probably just when I pulled it out. But it's got the same antenna on this side too. So it's very nice, very well done. Clips together real nicely. Click and click. There. Perfect. Now this is the part that's going to be a lot harder to show. Now on the soundboard itself, which I will do its own kind of partial or mini review here. Here is a tab, and there's a tab. Or a hole. I'm sorry. There's a hole here and a hole here. And I will hopefully be able to balance the light somehow. now there's the tab 1 and tab 2, or however you want them, but you know. And then you just slide them into there we go. And then you just slide them into there, and voila, they sit there. And then you have the front there. That is very cool. Next, we have two kind of sort of things here that I am going to try to do here. We have this, which goes all the way down. And I hope you can see that. This is a tiny bit bigger than my little table here, so it's going to be. You also don't want to roll anything and have anything kind of fall off. That would be really bad. But you have this, the rampway, and then you can take smaller vehicles Now, I understand this. Now, I hope you'll forgive me because I'm doing this alone. My daughter is not here. She's at her mom's at this particular function. She was at the beginning of it, but she's not right now. And what you're able to do is, if you, say, wanted to put other vehicles other than helicopters on it, you can put smaller vehicles on it and raise this up. And then it can drive here. Oh, should have a driver. I will give him that. Another nice vehicle you can put on here is, say, the Slam. Drive it up here. Raise the crane. And there you go. And for a nice third one to put on top of there, you can put, say, an armadillo. And you can have even more troops on there, which I will just take this and this. Oh no! Well, this dude is not cooperating. But there you go. You can have, and I'll pull this, I should pull this back now so you can kind of see. I know, it sounds horrible. So why I try not to move it too much because listen. Yeah, sorry, headphone listeners. But now you can have 3 separate vehicles on here, and they don't have to be helicopters. You can just put smaller vehicles on there. I think like the HAL and stuff could probably fit on there, and like the Whirlwind twin battle gun, and I think something, like the flat cannon, they could fit on there. The only reason I didn't put them on there is because these are vehicles and those are towed, so you'd have to have like a towing thing. Yeah, so you get the idea. But look, you can get 3 more vehicles on here, and they'd look just fine. Here, in fact, turn this around, and maybe you don't need all the big time firepower, but you need troops and equipment. Well, this is also a troop and equipment carrier. You can put a whole bunch of stuff in here. And it's just, I think that this is probably one of the reasons why this is so beloved by like 90s collectors, like 90, 88, 89, 90, 91, collectors. This can pretty much carry and do everything for you in one vehicle. Now I'm going to show you one more thing, but I am actually going to take, just to make it easier for you to see, I'm going to see, it just comes on this really nice thing with these two pegs on the side here. One really nice one here, and one really nice one here with a lot of detailing, which makes it look like it's actually mechanical and could move and could do all the things you need it to do. And here's the inside of the thing. It's rather plain, but it's still, still rather detailed. Has very similar to the front. It's got the grating like in the front. And the grooves where the helicopter can land are right here. So I'll show that. Got locust here. It's coming in. And now it's got really nice grooves that fit the bottom of this perfectly. And there it stands. This is one of those really cool things that just G.I. Joe just always seemed to do. Yes, G.I. Joe gets some flack for having fragile pieces, and G.I. Joe does get, and kind of deserved flack, for things to break easy, and they don't always have the, everything perfect. But this is just kind of the stuff that G.I. Joe used to do. Just put it into this thing and it clips in there, and it's going to stay when you're moving it around. Well, this is the wrong way, but when you're moving it around, the helicopter is going to stay. Sorry, once again, for that. And see how it's got the grating like that? I'll show you. It's got grating like on the deck. And it's even got the grating like the front here. So it's really cool. It's got really nice continuity for it all. Okay. Now this is going to be the thing that I am going to show you, which is probably one of the very coolest. Now, like I was saying, you have some extra room for figures inside. So we've got a couple figures here. You could probably put a few more, but got one. You got Tunnel Rat in the walkway here. You got a couple working on the missile launcher. And you if another in the walkway. So if you really did, and you really did try, you could probably fit a couple more troops in here, if they stood. But you're going to need to take all these out of here anyway to do the next big thing here. And have some nice space to use the big missile launcher. It is nice, however, that it does have this walkway. And it does have this nice passageway to go through and go through all the things. I only say this as a small, tiny regret, is that you can't take the missile piece out. So you can't take the missile launcher out and put another vehicle in, because that would be really cool. Technically you can. Obviously you can't but it'd be on top of a missile launcher, and that's not a very good idea. Not only would that bang around, but If you did that, you could maybe break one of the pieces off of the shielding or something else on a particular vehicle that may have more fragile parts, and I would not suggest doing that. But that's my only, and I mean only, complaint about this, is that it would have been nice to be able. Now what I have here is the missile that can be shot. It's hollow on the bottom, but that's okay because you're going to want it for what it can do. You're going to raise this up, and it's got 3 positions. 1, 2, and down is the 3rd position. And what you're going to do is, let me back this up. You're going to slide the missile into here. I'm going to put it down. And then you're going to click it to the 3rd position here, or 2nd position here, all the way to the side. And then you can let it go. Oh, that is really cool. I'm going to try to do it the other way so you guys can see it like this and shoot off. And shoot off to the side. And I'm going to try to put this here quickly. And you take this and you set it to the other side. And boom! Yeah! And I bumped the thing. Here, and I'll do this one more time. But I'll do it in the 1st position here. And boom! That is the great, cool thing about this. And I think that's why it's partially hollowed out, so that you can get the missile to shoot as far as it does. I'm pretty sure that that's why they do it. And here we go. One more time. I got technically 4 of them, but they shoot so nicely. This is one of the cool ones. And oh, I love it. It is so cool. Oh, this is such an awesome video. Awesome vehicle for G.I. Joe. It is probably one of the coolest vehicles they ever made. So I'm going to go over a few of the pieces here. Now, as I said earlier, with this piece is very similar to the gun pintle. As you can see, they're both kind of the same design. Now, I just took the guns and the stuff off because what I'm going to do next will oh, see, I already knocked some stuff down. See, with the gun pintle, you have this nice bar and the gun can go on. And technically, the gun can go on either way. There's no front or back. You can just clip these on and clip these off. So I'm going to show you the 3-barreled gun first, and then I'll do the 2-barrel gun, and then I'll show you a little something with a different piece that I have. Now here's the 3 guns, and here are the shells and the engine detail, which is really nice. Here's the engine, very nice. That fires it. I'm not 100% sure how the 3rd one gets loaded, but I'm not really sure. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but maybe this one goes into, yeah. Well, anyway, there you go. You have the 3rd one here, and it's got really nice detail. Little plate on the bottom, but that's just to save a little bit of plastic, I think, and a little bit because you're not going to see that anyway, because when it's on the pintle and it's moving up and down and stuff, you're not going to see that this empty cavity. Besides, if you filled it in, it might not fit right, and then it might not hold right. Here is the dual cannon, the dual barrel cannon, and its shells, which if you look at this one, they are a tiny bit different. Oops. Shows you how good I am, what a YouTuber I am, although I'm not really. It's a little bit different. The barrels are roughly the same. From the things here to the tip, I think they're the same. No, maybe they're not, because maybe they seem a little bit different. Anyway, very cool. This one gets 2, so it's got the nice shells in it that you can see being loaded up. That's really nice. And then they just clip right here on this piece here. I don't always quite get it right, and I oftentimes knock a missile off, or 2 or 3 when I'm putting these things back on. Now what I'm going to show here is, here's the gun, here's the guy in the gun. They're really nicely in there, and you can put the guy's hands on there, make it look like he's controlling the gun. Now here's what it looks like. Oh, I have a separate one here. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Here is just the plain one, and then I have the second version with the actual sticker on it. And here it is without its gun and everything. Here's the seat. It's got lots of nice details around it. Got some heavy, like, protective things around thing here, so that the figure sits, actually when the figure sits down, he's quite low in the seat here. He's quite low in it. And it also has this shielding for the feet, so they don't just, I mean, you could sort of see if I have it like this and I point it out to you, the feet are dangling a little bit, but it's not nearly sticking out as bad. And since they're so far in there, you know, you hardly see it, especially with the guns. If I hadn't shown it to you, you probably wouldn't have even noticed. And it has just a really nice cover that's black that you don't even really notice. And the seats, mine are extraordinarily tight, but they are supposed to be able to move so that you can swing the turret around. But mine are extremely tight, and I can't really even do them with this example. I mean, I can kind of do it, but I'm a little afraid if I hold it by the gun that I'm going to bust it. But they do rotate. I do want to show you that they do rotate, but it takes a lot of effort. But I do like the shielding. I do like the gun, so that you can, I'll even take this one off and show you a little closer. Oop, that's probably why. There we go. And I will put a very thin figure, which is Jinx here. I shall put her into the seat so that you have an idea, so that I can get it up close. Of just how far they actually sit in the seat. Now, Jinx may be a tiny bit smaller than an average figure, but that'll give you a pretty good look how low she is in this seat. And then look, you can barely see, you can barely see her feet. You can, but it's so much better. It's guarded, you can see it better. And here's what it looks like turning, if I can get it to turn. If I can even get it to turn with a figure in it. So see, you can move it around a little bit and adjust it a little bit. Which brings me to my next point. And I'll show it better with this in just a second. Here you can lift it up and lift this up. And here are the missiles for it. This pops up if you want the extra firepower. And here are the missiles. Very nicely detailed. Hopefully you can see that. Very nicely detailed. But these, I thought were supposed to be finger flick missiles. And, well, my understanding of it doesn't quite seem to work. That's the best I can do. And so I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. But that, that is what it is. And now I'm going to show you one of the cool features of this thing here, which I will show in just a moment a little bit better. But you gotta figure. I'm using Jinx because she's a little bit thinner. And you put the things down, you put the missiles tight down, and you can... Oh no! Yeah, I was having trouble with this earlier. Sorry for the unusual break. I had an unexpected thing happen, and something kind of broke in there, so I had to quick fix it. And I'm just going to show you this on this anyway, even though this one doesn't slide as well. So what I'm going to be able to show you to do is, see, this one was my parts one. I have two of them, and I parted some to fix and, to make one. So we got the missiles up. We put Jinx in there. Jinx is a nice figure because she's a tiny bit shorter than everybody else. Kind of put her arms a little up like that, or so. So it's down. You can see her in there. What's really nice is lower her a little more. And then we do this. Kind of have to finagle it sometimes. But you don't have to even put, when she's in there, you don't even have to take the figure out. You can keep the figure in here and down, and she won't fall out. So that's really cool. Now for the main man himself, Major Storm. He borrows some parts from figures I do not have, but his arms come from with the same elbow pads and everything as scrap iron, as you can see. They even have the same wristband. And his chest is the exact same. Thank you for focusing. Is Windchill here. And his legs come from Crankcase, which I don't actually have. But I thought that was very interesting. That he was built from a few different figures. So that's pretty cool. It's good use of reusing materials. And he has this gun, I don't know what kind of gun this is. I don't know if it's automatic, semi-automatic. And it does look like some of this detail could collapse or go like this. It fold backwards. Like this piece here, where it waves. Now this is just speculation, but it looks like it could go back and be like a collapsible stock to save room, so that it would look more like this gun. If you pulled that stock back, you could have. Now, I don't know if that's what that is. I don't know. But you could have something like this, and it would be very nice. Next, he comes with something that's very cool and something that's kind of sad. I'm going to do this, and hopefully this will work. Yeah, it didn't work with my finger. But as you can see, what's bad is it's got a star, which signifies general, and he's a major. So what this should be, oak leaf, like a circle on top. But they went with a star. They probably had like a general in mind, and then they brought back General Hawk. So I don't know if they just decided last minute to change that because they were bringing Hawk back. I'm not really sure. What is really cool is it has like a readout system thing for an eye. He probably can do distances or whatever kind of goes to his helmet. Maybe he's sighting in for the main cannon or something. I'm not really sure, but that's still pretty cool. And the attached microphone, which is really cool. It's got some really nice details here, really nice detailing there. And there you go. I'll load it up, although I never put the gun inside there because it'll lose it. I usually just give it to somebody else on the outside to have. But there we go. There's the figure. A very, before G.I. Joe went neon, a very subdued green and brown. I'm guessing the brown is like a jumpsuit and then the green is a vest over the top. I don't know that for sure, but that's what it looks like. And I do like that the strap goes all the way down to the pants, or to the sidearm, which is nice. And that is a really nice figure. Last, I'm just going to do a real quick look at the included Locust helicopter. He has, or this has, ability to hold 3 figures. It's got a foot peg here and the ability to hold a gun. Now, you'd never do this in real life. I don't care how fast or how slow you'd go, you'd never do this. But, you know, they did it in a cartoon, and so it's fine. But there you go. You can hold 2 figures. You've got nice whirling blades. You've got and I'll show you the other side, but look, very nice. Oh, I might have to take off, I can't think of what his name is anymore. And look, it's got a nice pintle. And you can make it rotate. You can make it go back and forth. And then on the opposite side, I will remove Snake Eyes here. And here's the pintle that turns it. And then it's boom, which I don't know if this would be big enough to actually work, but I don't know enough about aerodynamics to make this work. But here you got its rotating. Here you've got its missiles / bombs. It's kind of confusing because I don't have a box, but on the box they call them like missiles. On the things they call them bombs. On the box, I think they call it missiles, and then these bombs, and then on the instruction sheet, they call these all bombs or something. I can't remember exactly, but it's kind of something like that. So you either got some missiles or the bombs, and the reason there's a bit of confusion is because they're the same shape. Now on the bottom here, the reason it's called a bomb removal is because you put, here it is. Here's the tab, which when you have it like this, you can't even see really. And, oh, boom. I'll do that again so that you can see, hopefully, see the bombs come out. All right. Wasn't perfect, but this is really cool. And I'm going to put these right back in here so I don't lose them. But that is really cool. And if you have a second one, the retail one, you can have a whole nice little bombing raid. And if these are bombs, you can just have them go shh. So that's really cool. I really like that. And we'll put them, I'm just going to put him on here for now. And him back here for now. And then, like I said earlier, there's a nice little slot to fit it in. It stays nice. And then I'll put this other one that's been reviewed already right on there. And here it is. And I shall turn it. Here she is, boys and girls. A fully loaded up General. I really like this toy. This has been one of the coolest new toys in my collection. I've got this for actually quite a while, but I have been trying to piece it together, and I finally got it complete. I just wish I could get the lights to work. However, you can't win them all. I couldn't get the lights to work, and I tried replacement lights, and that didn't work, so it is what it is. But here it is, fully loaded up with figures. There's figures on the inside, figures on the outside. I think I counted that you could probably put like 30 or almost 40 figures on here, so really cool, really neat figures, or a really neat figure and a really neat helicopter to go with it. Quite a toy. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications so you never miss one of our awesome videos. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you
next time.
Bye.